Hi everyone, today I'm going to be showing you the start of my new pattern, Flowing Shawl, triangular pattern. So we're going to be starting with the magic ring, which is slightly different, which I'll show you. You'll need a stitch marker for that, just to show you where the stitch is to start on the first row. You'll need scissors as well, obviously. You use the background colour. We're going to be starting with the background colour. We use the background colour until row 4, and that's when we alternate each row with the colours. When your row starts and ends with double crochet stitches, the first 2 and the last 2 go into the anchor stitches, which I shall be showing you throughout. Every row starts with 2 anchor stitches in the same stitch, both loops of the same stitch. So I should be showing you that. I'm going to be showing you all this because this is where it starts to get a bit more in-depth, complicated. That's your chart, how your chart will look. This is what I'm going to be showing you with the magic ring. And then 2S is the 2 anchor stitches. You can see it's all the background colour to start with, and then we start with the detail colour, and then we've got normal corners and a big corner. So I'm going to be showing you that and where your double crochet stitch goes into. So let's get started. So get your yarn, and we're going to be doing a magic ring. Hopefully you've done one before, but you hold the yarn there, you make a cross at the back, turn over, put your hook in, grab that yarn, pull it through, and then you grab that yarn there and then pull through, and that's your magic loop. Then you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to do 2 double crochet to start with. Now, after this first double crochet, you're going to put your stitch marker in there, because that's going to be your first stitch to start. Do another double crochet, and then we're going to do 2 single crochet, 1, 2, and then we're going to chain 1. Then we're going to do 2 single crochet, 1, 2, and then we're going to do 2 double crochet, 1, 2, and then we're going to chain 2, as I always do at the end of a row, and then we're going to cut, pull through, pull that as you would do at the end of the row, and then pull your yarn, and then that is the start of your triangular pattern. Right, don't worry about that, you can tighten it off and sew it in later on in the pattern. So that's the start, but we do have to cut. Now we're going to start row 1. So I'm just going to do a normal join there. Right, you've got your stitch marker in there, so you know your first stitches, and we're going to go in both loops because it's an anchor stitch. Right, so we slip into that, and then I like to carry my yarn. I have carried my yarn throughout my shawl, so I work over these stitches. You don't have to, but I did. So now we're going to do the 2 anchor stitches, both loops, single crochet, back into the same stitch, single crochet. That's your anchor stitch done. Now we're going to do 3 single crochet, back loop, because it's mosaic crochet. Back loop, 1, 2, 3. Like I say, I'm carrying this yarn, but that can go out the way now, and I'll cut that. Now the next one is a corner. The next stitch, we're going to do a corner, so it's straight in for a single crochet, chain 1, back into the same stitch for a single crochet, and now we're going to do 3 single crochet. Now I want to carry that yarn that I sometimes forget, so if I forget through this video, please forgive me. Now we're going to do 3 single crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3. Pull that end a little bit. So now you've got your last stitch that you're going to do your 2 anchor stitches. So 1, 2 anchor stitches. I chain 2 at the end of all my mosaic crochet patterns and pull there a little bit further on. Now I like to cut these off so they don't get in the way further on, being careful. There, so that's row 1 done. Lovely. Right, now again, for row 2 it's going to be 5 single crochet in a normal corner. So there, you see it's a bit difficult to see. Yes, this was my first single crochet. Now I should have really put stitch marker in there, which I should do this time. So just slip, and then I bring that across because I want to carry it. Do first anchor stitch 1. I will put my marker in this time to make it easier. And then we're going to do the second into the same stitch. Now, as you go on, it can be hard to find your first stitch because sometimes you really have to pull it back to make sure you're seeing all your stitches. So anyway, that's your 2 anchor stitches done. Now we're going to do 5 single crochet, back loop, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can move that out of the way now. Now it's corner. So a normal corner, single crochet, chain 1, back into the same stitch, single crochet. That's your corner. Now I like to carry this, which I did throughout. So we're going to do 5 single crochet. 1. It can be different. I've made it come to the front, haven't I? By doing that, I might wait a few stitches before carrying that. So 1, back loop, 2 back loops throughout apart from anchor stitches, 3 and double crochet stitches. I'll carry that now for number 4 and then 5. and then we're going to do 2 anchor stitches in that last stitch, both loops, always for anchor stitches. 1, both loops, again 2, and then I always chain 2 to end so it's nice and secure. There, lovely, and secure, and then remember that there, pull that a little bit and cut, and this one cut. So that's row 2 done. Lovely. Now row 3, we need again we know what the first stitch is because we put a stitch marker in, very handy. I'll use that again. Both loops, anchor stitch, and slip that into place. Then we're going to do 2 single crochet. That one's going all over the place, isn't it? 1, that's the first one, so I'm going to put a marker in there so we know next time. Same stitch, there are your 2 anchor stitches done. So if you see now, you might think, because you've done them 2 anchor stitches, you might think this is your first stitch, but it's not. If you pull that back, there's your first stitch. Let me move this out of the way now. There's your first stitch. So please be careful of that throughout, as you'll lose your stitch count and then you'll have to start again, which is a nightmare. That's 2, 3, we're doing 7 single crochet in this row, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we've got the corner, which is a normal corner, single crochet, chain 1, back into the same stitch, single crochet. Now 7 single crochets all back loop because it's mosaic. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's your 7. I haven't carried that yarn this time, have I? See, I told you I'd forget. Now the last stitch, both loops, because we're doing 2 anchor stitches into there, then chain 2, cut. Now I should have carried that end, shouldn't I? But I forgot. So let's cut this end off. Right, lovely. Triangular, perfect. Now I did find that mine, that side looked perfect and this side does look curved. I don't know why, but it gets better as it goes along, so don't worry. Now this one, we're changing colours, so you need your detailed colour for this one. I've picked purple, try and be contrasting. I've already got a loop there, look. So we know that's our first stitch. Take that off and both loops, grab the yarn, pull through. I don't know why that's being tricky on me today, but never mind. There. Now back into the same stitch for your 2 anchor stitches. So it's both loops, first stitch, 2 anchor stitches. And again, you'd be forgiven of thinking that's your first stitch, but it's not. You need to pull back and go into your first stitch, which is 9 single crochet on this row, or back loop. It's 2, 3, 4, we can get rid of that now, 5, 6, 7, 8, there's your 9, and then a corner, normal corner, single crochet, back in, single crochet, chain 1 and back into the same stitch for a single crochet. Now 9 single crochets here, back along, back loop, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I didn't again, did I? I forgot to carry that yarn. Now both loops, these are your 2 anchor stitches, 1, both loops, and 2, and then chain 2, and then cut. It looks much neater when you do carry, you see, carry your ends. That's why I wanted to do that, and I did that with my shawl, my own shawl. So now it's just your background colour again. We're going to do the same thing, and this time 11 single crochet stitches. Right, I didn't put my stitch marker in, did I? But I can see now that those 2 were my anchor stitches. So as you go along, you'll be able to tell which your first stitch is. It's just at the start, it's a bit harder to see. So I went through both loops, I slipped. Now both loops again, back into the same stitch for your first anchor stitch, single crochet, and again for your second. Now it's 11 single crochets, all back loop, 2. I know it's going to be hard for you to see here because I'm carrying that, so I'll move it out of the way. Right, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, perfect, because now we've got the corner stitch, chain, which is here, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, that's your corner done. Now we've got 11 stitches, back to the other side, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I'm going to carry this. 8, 9, 10. You've got 2 left, look. That's 11. Then your last one is your anchor stitches, So we go in both loops for this, so it's secure. 1, both loops again, 2, and then chain 2 to end your row. Pull, and then there, I pulled that a little bit, and that one, so we can cut both off. Lovely. So now with this row, this is row 6, and we're going to do 13 single crochet. Right, with the detail colour. So I've just done row 6, nice and easy. Just 13 single crochet, normal corner, 13 single crochet. So I'm going to show you row 7, which is a bit more complicated now because we're doing big corners and double crochet stitches. So first stitch, 2 anchor stitches into that first stitch. Carry this now. One, 2 anchor stitches into that first stitch. Now you've got 2 double crochet. So both of the double crochet stitches, even if you've got 10, the first 2 go into that first stitch that you see there. All right, so I go into both loops. You don't have to, it's just how I do my mosaic crochet, so I don't get holes and stuff like that. So first 2 go into that first stitch, then you make sure that you've got 2 stitches at the back, so you know this is your single crochet that you're doing. And now we're doing 9 double crochet. So we skip 1, we go into these loops and do 9 double crochet stitches. People often ask me, do I have to, you go into your stitches from top to bottom, do I have to do that? And I'm like, no, you just do crochet how you normally do it. It's just how I taught myself. You know, you just go with what you feel most comfortable. It really doesn't matter. So we'll do these 9 double crochet stitches now. So 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we do 1S. Now be careful with mosaic crochet, you can think that's your 1S, but you have to move your work out of the way regularly to make sure you're putting it into the right stitch. Now it's 2 double crochet, big corner. So this is your first stitch to put your double crochet in. That's your first one. And then if you've seen any of my videos before, any centre out videos, you know that the last stitch and the first stitch, if it's a double crochet, it goes into the corner chain stitch. So this is the front loop. Just go in the front loop of the corner chain stitch 2 rounds below and do a double crochet. That's that side finished. Now you're doing a big corner, so it goes back into the same corner stitch for your double crochet, chain 1, and then back in again to the same corner chain for your second double crochet of the corner. That's your corner done. Now you've got to do 2 double crochet, and the first one goes back into that corner chain stitch, so that is now holding 4 stitches to create that edge, that corner. So that's your big corner done. And then you've got your second double crochet to do, which is in the next stitch. Double crochet and then do single. Remember to move your work around so you know exactly that you're putting it in the right stitch. And then we've got 9 double crochet stitches to do. 1, oops, 2, 3, pull the yarn, 4, 5. It is like an in the round pattern, but you cut in the yarn at the end of every row, so it's like half, obviously it's half a square, so it's like half a pattern. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then we've got 1 single crochet and then 2 double crochet to finish the row. So make sure you know where you are. That's my single crochet stitch. And then we've got 2 double crochet to do, and they both go in this one here. That's the difference with triangular. You put in at the start and end, if it's double crochet stitches, the last 2 go into that double crochet, that stitch, and then you've got your anchor stitches, both loops, single crochet, again both loops, single crochet, I chain 2, cut, and then pull. We always have to manipulate work. I always have to manipulate mine. I haven't had to block my shawl, fortunately. So cut these off now. So that's good. I'll be washing it, obviously, but I haven't had to block it. Right. Now, the last row that I'm going to show you, which is quite easy, but because we're going on top of double crochet stitches, I wanted to just go through it with you. So I can tell that that's my first stitch, which we're going to do 2 anchor stitches into, which we do throughout every single row, the start at the end, 2 anchor single crochet stitches into that first stitch, both loops. Now we're doing 13 single crochet. Remember to pull that back so you can see all your stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, I'll move that out of the way now, 5, 6, 7, 8, all back loop, remember, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Then we've got a double crochet, which goes here. It's worked out very well. And then the pattern says 3 single crochet and then a corner. Back loop, 1, 2, 3. Now we've got a corner stitch, back loop of that corner stitch, 1, chain 1, single crochet all into that stitch. Now we've got 3 single crochet, double crochet, and now 13 single crochet, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See, that one's not a double crochet because just how the pattern is, that's just a spot. Let's count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, that's 12. This is your 13th. And then we go through both for the anchor stitch twice. Chain 2, cut. So, right, that is the start of your flowing shawl triangular pattern, and from now on it's just basically the same sort of thing. You've got your base, you've got your start, so you know what to do with your double crochets and your big corners. Look out for the corners throughout the pattern, they change, so make sure you're on the ball looking at your corners. I did put a border, a small border, which I'll explain in the pattern, because I didn't like the way that the edges were in mine, even though I did work over the ends, but it was just a two row of single crochet. It was tiny border, and then there's the hood. There's the hood video to come, to be on my channel, just to start the hood, because it can be a bit complicated as with this. So thank you for watching, and see you next time.